Questions for both coaches. Newey Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. For you, Coach Smart, I know you talked about not feeling like you were the hunted, but the pressure of being installed as the favorite and being the number one team in the country to face this group of guys that were unranked all year. And then for you, Coach Dykes, can you speak to the fact of TCU's becoming a national brand? Earlier this week on TNT, Ernie Johnson, who's a Georgia grad, bet Shaq that Georgia would win by 28, and Shaq, who now lives in Texas, said he'd eat a horned frog if it happened here, but that here's a NBA show talking about TCU football.
I'm not sure I understand the question exactly. In regards to the hunted or being hunted, I mean, I promise you, there's no greater pressure on any sport than there is on college athletics, especially for major college football programs. And I don't think Coach Dykes or myself would be in this business if we weren't used to pressure. And I look at it in a vacuum. I don't get to watch much TV. I don't get to do much social media. I just worry about our team and don't get caught up in anything outside of that. And we've had a saying around our place for a long time that probability is not reality. So we don't control what people say in probability. Reality is what happens on the field between those lines. And that's what takes a lot more courage than just putting out probability.
Yeah, and I'll say this, you look around college athletics and you look at the NCAA basketball tournament and you see teams that you don't expect to be there end up in the top 8 or the Final Four. That seems to be something that's almost an annual occurrence these days. College football is different. It just is. There's a lot of plays that go into that game. There's a lot of players, instead of 5 guys and 1 or 2 guys get really hot, you've got to have an entire team do it and execute at a high level. And so I do think it's more difficult to kind of emerge from the shadows in football than it is maybe in basketball. Our group has had a little bit of a magical ride, and I think the biggest difference is that it's our first year. We were still trying to get to know the guys. We're still trying to get, a culture established. I just think that at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is what is your culture? Because it drives the decision a player makes from the time they wake up in the morning to the time they go to bed. What is their level of commitment? What's their level of responsibility to their teammates? How deeply are they truly invested in the team? And so there's all these things that sometimes take time. To our players' credit, for whatever reason, it didn't take as long this time as it usually does. Our guys were hungry and they were mature. They had a chip on their shoulder, and they bought in quickly. Now, the challenging thing as we move forward, past Monday, is where do we go from here? And there's a standard now that and a set of expectations that accompany this kind of success. And to me, that's the exciting part. It really is. I mean, you really get to find out how good you are. It's one thing to kind of get to the top. It's another thing to be able to stay there. And again, that's why I have so much respect for Coach Smart and his staff and the Georgia program, because that's a hard thing to do. It's very, very difficult to do, and it takes a lot of factors and a lot of people and a lot of commitment to be able to do that on a consistent basis. So, we're looking forward to that challenge. There's some doors open to us now because of this success that have been closed for a long time, and it's up to us to figure out how to reap the benefits from when it comes to recruiting, the opportunity to recruit a different kind of player, when it comes to the opportunity to have access to staff members and additional staff and, just all the things that can help you take the next step as a program. So, it's been a journey to get here, but we're excited about not only Monday night, but where do we go from here, and how can we continue to build our brand from a national standpoint. You know, and I think the second part of the question, look, I've always been a Shaq guy. You know, I mean, that's told the story before. My wife and I have been married 17 years now. We've had 3 disagreements in our marriage in 17 years, and one of them was about Shaq and Kobe. You know, I'm a Shaq guy, she's a Kobe girl. That was probably about as eventful argument as we've had in our marriage. And so, hey, look, I'm a Shaq dude through and through. Always have been. So he's a Texas guy, San Antonio Cole.
On that note, we'll move right over here to the middle in the second row.
That's more information than you wanted, hey, but it's the truth.
I'm more impressed you've only had 3 arguments with your wife in 17 years. I'm still trying to conquer that.